The Brylaurs. The signal in the static. In the fog-swaddled town of Midland, where the houses hunched together like gossiping old hens who absolutely should have gone to bed hours ago, there stood a radio telecommunications tower perched atop Midland Hill. Every night it blinked a single red light. Blink, 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 like a steady eye refusing to fully close or commit to anything. Most people never noticed it. Most people never wondered. Most people were very, very good at ignoring things. Everyone except Zara and Jonas. Zara, editor of the Midland Times, was the sort of woman who kept 3 sharpened pencils behind each ear, just in case. She believed in facts you could measure, sources you could quote, and mysteries you could solve using only determination and a thermos of black coffee, so strong it once startled a spoon. But she also had an empathetic, warm heart that could radiate understanding. Jonas, meanwhile, ran an online channel called The Whispering Wires, where he cheerfully encouraged everyone to think twice, thrice, or even 4 ice about everything the so-called experts say. He believed curiosity was a verb, not a noun, and that nothing should be swallowed without a good, suspicious chew, except soup. Once upon a not-so-distant winter, the two had been the best of pals. Their kids built snowmen together, lumpy ones that leaned like exhausted penguins, and they'd traded jars of jam at the market. Zara's smooth strawberry for Jonas's alarming yet somehow delightful gooseberry. Then came the great disagreement. About truth, about proof, about who was blissfully asleep and who was dangerously gullible. Neither could see what the other seemed to know was right. Conversations curdled, smiles cracked. The people of Midland tuned in and split like 2 sides of a coin. They were either on one side or the other, with nothing in between. Neighbors whispered. Families squabbled. Entire streets decided who was right and who was wrong, and who definitely should not be invited to potlucks anymore. High above it all drifted a Brylaur named Liam. Gliding through the electrostatic, chaotic haze, his lantern pulsed, half light, half static hum, tuning itself to Midland's many overlapping arguments. He paused often, listening closely. On his shoulder perched Alamar, his magpie companion, who delighted in repeating snippets of overheard chatter. Fake! Prove it. Really? Conspiracy. Misinformation. Easy, Liam muttered. We're listening, not mocking. But Alamar only fluttered his feathers proudly. He was very good at mockery. Then came the storm. A monstrous, walloping, whirl-winding storm that slapped Midland with icy fury. Power lines snapped like glass fibers. Street lights fizzled. The clinic disconnected. Phone signals sighed their last heroic sighs. And as Liam hovered nearby, Alamar tilted his head. Generators failing, he crackled helpfully. Yes, said Liam, and so is the town. Then the town went dark. except for the radio tower. Blink, blink, blink. But the tower only emitted static, using the last bit of energy available. When the storm finally tiptoed away, Zara found a small, glowing crystal shard on her doorstep. So did Jonas. Each shard shimmered faintly, humming like it had something important to say, but was waiting for manners. Attached to each was a card that read, "When voices fail, light will carry truth. Meet at the tower. Bring what you can fix together." Liam watched from above as both sighed at the exact same time. Alamar snorted static. Zara arrived with a technical manual she'd written years ago when she was fondly called the Carpenter because she always nailed the details. She was ready to dive right in, fully prepared for anything. Jonas brought a battered toolbox held together with tape, hope, and one stubborn screw named Harold. He was ready to chew away at the repair with his instincts. At the tower, the generator loomed. Frozen, groaning, and deeply uncooperative. The flashing light also began to fade and flicker helplessly. Below, the town gathered quietly, listening to their phones and devices, waiting for a clear signal beyond the static. People listening instead of shouting for once. Liam hovered low, lantern glowing brighter as he tuned into their shared concern. Alamar repeated the softer sounds now, worried murmurs, hopeful signs, someone even offering snacks. Jonas loosened the bolts with theatrical flair. Zara carefully followed the wiring, tracing exactly where things had gone wrong. The generator sputtered, coughed, burped politely. Alamar applauded. Liam held his breath. Then, buzz! The power surged back. The light began to blink. Lights bloomed across Medland like fireflies. The clinic reconnected. TVs and phones crackled to life. Clear signals cut through the muddled static, drowning it out with grateful voices. Cheers rose. Not arguments, not accusations, just cheers. Jonas laughed. Seems curiosity and facts make decent teammates. Zara grinned. Seems questions and answers belong in the same toolbox. They shook hands. Different minds, shared purpose. They vowed to acknowledge and respect their differences in their collective work as journalists. Above them, Liam's lantern softened to a warm, steady glow. Alamar chirped contentedly, repeating the very best sound of all. Working, working, working. And so, it seems, when people stop arguing over who's right, cut through the static, and start fixing what's broken together, sense has a funny way of switching itself back on.